This video is best viewed in full screen mode, and on YouTube that's this icon right here. And if you have a high bandwidth connection, you also want to watch it in HD, which is this icon right here. This video goes over the expenses tab, and this tab is pretty straightforward and easy to use. You basically just have your grid tool here, and you have your date, description, and amount. And like on almost all of the grid tools in the app program, if you right click over here, you'll get some options that are available to you. The one thing you want to be aware of is these two columns here and what they do. And what these two columns are used for is in the scenario in which the expense was added to the judgment. And I want to emphasize that you would only use these two columns if that expense was actually already rolled into the judgment. For example, a lot of jurisdictions, when you go down and you file paperwork and they charge you a fee, that fee is automatically rolled into that judgment. If that scenario came about, then what you would do is you would go over here, and in this case there's an original judgment and there is a domesticated judgment. And the system doesn't know which one to add that to. So you got to tell it which judgment that expense was rolled into the judgment on. So in this case, we're going to select Arizona. And then over here, you select the cost type, which majority of the time is going to be a court cost. But you select whichever one of these is appropriate. And what that does is that gives the system the information that it needs to decide whether or not interest should be charged on that expense that was rolled into the judgment. Down here we notice we have an expense. It was $50 for skip tracing, and that was not rolled into the judgment, so you would just leave these two columns blank. And if you notice here we have a total, and this was the $50 here is these two items here, because that is the total amount that has been added to the judgment. Over here is your total expenses, which is just the grand total of this column here. And if you go over to the judgment tab, and you remember this figure of 50, that shows up right here as post-judgment costs. And if I had enough of space here, I'd say post-judgment costs that have been rolled up into the judgment. There's just not enough space for that. And then that helps give you the total due on the judgment as of today. And then over here, your total expenses, that gets rolled up here in your summary, and that value shows up right there. So that is everything there is to know about the expenses tab. It's pretty darn easy to use.